everyone, my name is Mandilynn. I'm the author of the young adult novel Essence and soon-to-be published novel I Am Mercy. And today I just wanted to talk about, because I just made a video on editing and how to do it on a computer, I wanted to talk about working with your editor. So when you have an editor, you fork out a ton of money to have them look at your work. So it's very important to actually listen to your editor. Now, you're not always going to agree. There are some things that your editor is going to say that you will probably never agree with. But you want to keep in mind, because God knows it's going to be something someone critiques down the line. You'll read a book review and they'll say exactly what your editor said. But it was you made the call to not change that in your book. The point of an editor is that they point out these flaws so you can fix them. It's up to you to actually decide whether or not they need to be fixed. Sometimes your editor will say something and you're like, no, I don't think that's right. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You just kind of want to make it appeal both to you and to other people. Now, obviously, I always say when you write, you gotta write for yourself. If something's blatantly wrong with your book, you need to fix it. If there's a huge plot hole, you can't just be like, oh, I think my editor's wrong, I don't need to fix that. You need to fix that. If your editor points out an entire chapter and says, this is all bogus, you don't need this, it's just a waste of reading for your reader, you'll lose them, it's boring, it's stupid, suck it up, highlight the chapter, and hit that delete button. I know it sounds awful, it really does. I had to do that a lot for Essence. I didn't do it as much as I probably should have, because I know there are some boring spots, some dull spots, and some spots that need to be improved. But also keep in mind, the better your writing is, the more your editor's going to push you. For Essence, when I got it edited, it was like these big picture things. For I Am Mercy, when I got it edited, there was very minuscule things, like these tiny little things that I would never even think of to improve. My editor was just like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to link all these things together, and I was like, oh my god, my head hurt from all the editing. But I knew she was pushing me so hard because my writing was better this time around than the first time around, so she had more things to kind of push me to do. The trouble with an editor for self-publishing is a lot of the times it's just a note written on a piece of paper. So you don't exactly get the face-to-face contact, or sometimes even over-the-phone contact. Some editors are good with answering their phones and their emails and sometimes text messages if you have a question. Some of them aren't. Just keep in mind, if you don't understand a note your editor left for you, ask them. You don't want to just submiss it and be like, oh, I know exactly what they're talking about. If you have no clue what they're talking about, you need to email your editor or call them or text them and be like, hey, I have no clue what's wrong with this chapter, but you said something's wrong. At least make sure you understand what they're saying before you go ahead and say, I'm gonna ignore that. But that's basically it. If you hired an editor, do yourself a favor and listen to them. Don't just ignore half of what they say. It's going to be a lot of hard work to edit a novel. It's a pain because you literally have to work page by page, and then you get to a certain scene and then you realize, crap, did I do that correctly? And then you have to go back to the beginning and find this specific scene to see if things link up. It will take you forever. I sat down for 5 hours at a time every day when I was editing my novel. I finished it in like less than a week, but that's because my boyfriend was on vacation, I had a few days off from work, and literally the only thing I had to do was shower, eat, and like other things. So literally I was sitting down at the computer for 5 hours at a time, sometimes more than that, just to get things done. It drove me insane, but I had deadlines to meet, and it's a lot easier if you edit everything all at once, because I tell you what, I had one day, I was editing one day, didn't do it the next, and then editing again the day after that. I was so thrown off because I forgot where I left off just because of that one rest day. So kind of get everything over with, just keep the big picture in mind, make sure you know where all your plot things are. If you need to, take notes for yourself. And again, I'm going to link all of the editing videos I've done so far in the description down below. So if you have any other questions, please watch those videos first. And, you know, if I still haven't answered your question, feel free to ask. And as always, thank you for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe.